Hello, you beautiful soul. Today we're talking about some of the things that I have cut out or reduced since my spiritual awakening. Now, if you're not familiar with spiritual awakening, I'm going to try and summarize it in the easiest way possible of what I believe it is, because everyone's entitled to their own opinions and perspectives. Now, to me, spiritual awakening is awakening up to who you truly are. The fact that you and I are energetic beings. We're just having a temporary human experience, but we're very spiritual. We're very connected to nature, the earth, and each other more than we could ever imagine. We are a vibration, and our thoughts and our feelings are what create reality. It's what brings us health and wellness and all the things that we want, good and bad. It's remembering that the power was never external and that the power comes from within. The love you seek, the happiness you seek, the freedom you seek is not in the objects, the people, or the places. It is within. It always has been and always will be. So the reason I have removed these specific things is because I believe that they keep me in a lower vibration and it gives me anxiety. They're not the right thing. They're not healthy. They suppress my emotions. And when I say that we create our reality based off our emotions, to me, it's important to be careful what I am consuming. I apologize if my voice is not the best. I'm actually struggling to talk today because I haven't been well. My body is going through a detox. And it's funny because one of the things in this video I'm going to talk about that I have pretty much cut out, and I didn't last weekend, so therefore I'm actually paying for it. So this is a perfect time for this video, although it absolutely stings to talk, but I've got to get this video out there. So let's start with number one. So number one is a big one for me, and it was a no-brainer for me, really, and that was alcohol. Now, in my early 20s, I drank a lot of alcohol, especially on the weekends, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. I was working around alcohol, and I noticed throughout that journey of my life, I was very depressed. I had a lot of anxiety and insecurity. And the reason why I think I drank a lot is because it was a way to numb my emotions and disconnect from myself. So for me, alcohol suppresses emotions. It doesn't allow you to work on your true self. It disconnects you from yourself. It's like every time I drank, I felt depleted energetically and emotionally. Like it felt like it was truly numbing any happiness that I had. Although like the next day it was the exact same thing. You feel so hungover, you feel so depleted, and many of us don't even remember what we did the night before because of the alcohol. So to me it feels like, especially spirits, it feels like it disconnects me from my spirit. And that's a huge awakening to me, because I don't want to numb my emotions. I want to face my emotions. I want to work with my shadow. I want to evolve and grow. So I no longer escape reality with alcohol and I face myself. I go within. Now I could have 1 or 2 cocktails a year and I'm fine. For me, it's to the point where I do not let it mess my head. I make sure that I'm 100% conscious still. The next one is toxic media and short form content. Why short? The thing is, when we watch these short videos, these short clips, this teaches our brain to accept very short amounts of stimulation in a very short amount of time. Meaning that this allows us to not want to connect to people deeper. It allows us to struggle reading and being okay to just sit there. I feel like it's teaching people to constantly crave stimulation and a quick dopamine fix. So you're never fulfilled. You're always in this never-ending cycle of trying to get stimulation from the external. Another thing is toxic media, as in especially the news. I cut out, of course I've cut out short form content. I don't sit there and scroll, but I don't like to consume the news. I haven't consumed the news since 2017. because I find that it's never fulfilling, it's never positive. It's always allowing us to view the world as evil and scary. And one of the things that I've learned since spiritual awakening is that our emotions create reality. So if we keep seeing and feeling fearful, we start to attract fearful events and situations, and this is not good for our body. So being aware of what I consume, or at least having a very neutral emotion to it, so if I come across the news, I don't get so emotionally attached to it. And the other one is music, and of course, movies and TV series. It's super important to be conscious of what lyrics that you are listening, especially music. This includes music from a violent ego perspective. So music is constantly subconsciously programming us to think in a certain way. Because music is frequency. Words are frequency. So what you are listening to will be embedded in your subconscious mind, and that's how you start to perceive the world. So I stay away from violence and music that's all about physical things and objects and me and ego. So the type of music I would listen to is usually either upbeat if I'm working out because it gets me motivated and inspired, but also meditation. Meditation and classical music allows me to get in tune with my body and feel more connected. Even singers like Frank Sinatra or some country music, it just feels fulfilling. But that's a personal preference to me. So when it comes to consuming, I'm very aware of what I'm consuming through like voice and sounds and visual, the visual screen. I would suggest becoming conscious of what you are consuming. Long form videos are totally fine. They're pretty good if they are making you feel good about yourself. Just allowing and asking the question, am I consuming this because I'm bored? Or am I actually learning something from this? Because I find that if I start consuming things because I'm bored, I should just shut everything off and face myself. I need to face my emotions. Why am I bored? These are the questions that I class as the shadow work. It's facing your true emotions and understanding yourself on a deeper level. Because in this world, it's so easy to be bombarded by constant stimulation, which detaches us from our true essence. So here's an important thing: control your mind to control your life. The next one is a little bit personal, and that is cutting out specific toxic people and relationships. Because there's so many people out there who are in relationships or friendships with people who don't have their best interest, people who constantly gossip. Thing is, we become who we surround ourselves with. And if you're around people who are always negative, always judging other people, you will become exactly like that. And if that's not the type of person you want to become, then you need to remove these people. Now, I've removed people from my life because I've gave them many chances and they've made comments here and there that are very disrespectful, and I wouldn't say that to my worst enemy. And therefore, I sort of build up this list of times that people around me have overstepped my boundaries. And if they hit a certain point, I will completely cut them off. There's no questions about it. I will just literally shut you off. No explanation. Because people know what they are doing. There are people around you and I who don't have your best interest at heart. They actually dislike you. And you will notice this with subtle remarks and comments. And you'll start noticing, it's like your intuition sort of hinting at you that this person doesn't really like you. There's something off with this person. I'm not going to share this secret with them anymore. That is because your intuition knows that this person doesn't have your best interest at heart. And sooner or later, they're going to try and do damage and ruin your life. And that was the case with me. Now, that's a lesson learned. But what I did was completely cut this person off. No questions about it. I don't like to be around people who constantly gossip about other people and judge other people, because Unless you're in the same situation as somebody else, you and I have no reason to judge somebody on why they do things the way that they do, because everybody has a history and a past and a story. So people are only acting based off of their experience and what they know. So who am I to judge if someone wants to do a certain thing? Like, I shouldn't. If someone wants to wear a certain thing or speak a certain, that's not my life and it's not my business. So I don't like to be around people who constantly gossip and are constantly looking for drama and arguments, because you become the person that you surround yourself with the most. So becoming conscious of who I'm around is super important to me. I want to be around people who love other people and want to see everybody succeed, and I honestly consume the exact same thing. So keep your circles small but strong. And lastly is negative programming and negative self-talk. I used to be one of those people who constantly self-sabotage myself, constantly focused on the negatives, and I realized this got me nowhere. So realizing that your brain is like a computer, you can program it for success or you can program it to fail. So just realizing that whatever I teach myself and say to myself is literally programming myself. So instead of feeling like, you know, maybe you feel like this, you're not enough, you're not smart enough, you're not more intelligent, whatever negative belief that you have, it's just switching it. Focusing on the things you do like about yourself, or at least convincing yourself that you are good enough. I mean, a lot of the times, what we see as flaws, not flaws at all, is what other people actually generally admire in us. So try not to focus on your flaws too much because it's irrelevant. People love uniqueness, so try and embrace what you seem as a flaw, because you don't know who would love that part of you. The thing is, what I realize is every single one of us is unique in our own special way. So just because you're not the same as another person doesn't mean that you're less worthy. It's realizing that everyone is unique in their own individual way, and that is what is beautiful. So realizing that has changed my perspective on life. I know that every single one of these has an important place in all our lives, but these are some of the things that really have changed my life since spiritual awakening and allowed me to take my power back. If you're feeling like you are a little bit lost, try and implement some of these, because you would find that your life will dramatically change. You'll be more fulfilled and happier. Spiritual awakening is a forever journey. I'm forever growing, forever learning new things and developing in a stronger character. So just because my spiritual awakening started many years ago doesn't mean if you're just starting today that you are behind. Everyone is on their own unique journey, so work with what works best for you. So whatever seems to stand out to you the most that you should work on, start with that. If there's someone around you want to cut out, start with that. There is no rush because we are all unique and on our own journey. So that is the end of today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy. Have a beautiful, fabulous day, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.